Hey guys, so very interesting video today, self-defense versus MMA. Now, before we start, I've boxed and I've kickboxed, I've sparred hundreds of times. I've done MMA, I've been in the ring, and working as a doorman for several years. I've been in, I've worked as a doorman, I've fought in the street. I've been, in both different situations. Now, when I trained MMA, I was in a safe, controlled environment. I wasn't afraid. I knew that we were basically, I'm here, we're one-on-one, I'm grappling, I could take Gio down to the ground, I could take my time, try to go for an armbar. I was no rush, I breathe, I controlled my breathing. At any point I could tap. If I felt I wasn't put in a position, there was, I didn't worry about his friend jumping in, I didn't worry about him pulling out a weapon. It was really, just one-on-one. It was like a game of chess at a really high speed without really a fear or an adrenaline dump like you would get in the street. This to say, I love MMA, and MMA should be part of your training, okay? And if you've never experienced being punched before, I always tell people, you don't want to get punched the first time in a street fight, right? Because you don't know how you're going to react. You might freeze, you might shit your pants, you might just be like, holy shit, I've been hit before. So doing boxing, kickboxing, doing grappling, and eventually going to MMA and actually feeling contact and getting struck and getting kicked and going on the ground and grappling should be part of your training. The skills that you will develop, the footwork, speed and timing and coordination and understanding how to feel opponent's energy. And I tell people, go in the ring and, fight smaller guys, bigger guys, much bigger guys. And, even if they're bigger and stronger, go and feel what that feels like to be hit by a bigger guy, to be taken down with a bigger guy. This to say, the skill that you acquire and the training. So, example, a very good thing is if I do MMA, right, it's part of my training. Now, when I'm going to do self-defense, I'll understand the difference between MMA and street is what? You're not dealing one-on-one. They might be two, they might be three, he might have a knife. I understand that the skill I'm gonna require from MMA, right? Example, working your kicks, if the guy's got a knife, I know that, I've worked my kicks, I've worked my striking, I've worked my timing to come in and trap. But I understand the difference is, well, instead of punching, I'm gonna palm. If he's got a knife, I need to use low line kicks and try to enter. If he clinches, well, I'm not, I'll go and rip into the eyes. If he has hair, I'm going to pull his hair. I'm going to use his t-shirt. I will use the skill I will get from MMA and through reality-based self-defense training and doing scenarios and understand on how to use the skill I acquired into the street and modify certain stuff, right? It's really, again, your footwork and your speed and your timing and sparring, all that will work on your footwork, will work on your timing, your speed, eye-hand coordination, being able to strike really quick and throw your kicks or your punches or enter. You will get this through training, as MMA, as doing scenarios. But again, the difference between both are huge. I'm not going to take a guy with a knife and try to take him down to the ground and armbar him. I'm going to get stomped and kicked in the head. Right? He's got friends, he's got a knife. I'm not going to take him down to the ground and try to grapple him and try to take that knife out of his arm by doing an armbar. That is a huge difference. There's also a huge psychological difference, right? You're in the ring, breathing, you're controlled, you feel in a safe environment, your adrenaline is not rushing as much as in the street where you only have seconds and the opponent that you have may actually try to kill you. So those are the big two differences of MMA training versus self-defense. Now guys, this is a huge debate. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Leave us a comment and tell us what you think. So I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.